like to call them literary salads, because when you can get healthy words up in front of you as a visual, kind of like a billboard, you can begin to consciously and also unconsciously take them in, digest them, truly embody the words. And so today I'm going to take you through the process of how I create a positivity poster. If you look here, we have your ARTS4ALL bag from ARTS4ALL. You have a couple of informative pieces of paper, but also you have 2 pencils that are in your bag. You have a set of markers as well. This really wonderful family fun pass to the art museum. That's pretty cool. And there is an eraser. Always when I see these erasers, I just often wonder, like, how much erasing must happen. I wonder, but this works great. And then there's a pencil sharpener as well. There are a few tabs for you to be able to put your poster up at the end, and a couple pieces of blank paper. So I was very fortunate. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I told everyone that when we made our kindness cards, that I would give them to my children, and I did. And lo and behold, my favorite response so I gave it to my 14-year-old daughter, and she sent it out to her siblings. And my favorite response is, "I love that dude." So that is when I gave my children a kindness card, I got back, "I love that dude." So I am loved. That is good to know. Also, I had help from my daughter again. She was kind enough to help me create this little jar of adjectives and adverbs, things that people can actually embody. I think sometimes we don't know that we can increase or decrease certain attributes, certain character traits. And so the more you think about something, as a matter of fact, one of the coolest things about healthy words that I really love is if you just begin to read a positive word and then the definition and synonyms, and if it takes you 30 seconds to do that, your body begins to instantly shift into a more positive state of mind. So that's really great. I love that about healthy words, and that's really why I see it as a nutritional additive to life, is that when you get healthy words, you can consume them and you get to enjoy your life with a more positive outlook, right? You can see both the positive and actually, I'm sure, the negative as well. So I'm going to get started. What I'm going to do first is something that I always love to do with healthy words, is I am going to create a lexicon or a vocabulary list. I am going to write out the alphabet, A to Z, and then my daughter, she put a healthy word that's an adjective or an adverb inside of this jar for me. I do not know what healthy words she wrote down. I did glance over her her list, but she at 14 told me that she didn't need my help finding healthy words. So, and I've known her for some time. I like to always tell this story. When she was 3, we were going to visit her grandparents, and she said to me, she said, "I just need to know the temperature for the next 5 days." And the only thing she didn't pack in her bag was socks. So, yeah, and then when you talk to her about it now, she says she never intended to pack socks. So I trust that every letter in the alphabet is inside of here, and that we'll be able to go through here and we'll be able to select a healthy word, create a lexicon, choose a couple of them, put them on the sheet, decorate the sheet, and put it up as a poster, something for us to meditate on and think about every day, an easy way to introduce healthy words into our lives, and also just feed our hearts and our minds and and add to our thoughts with positive language. So I'm going to start off. Can I get the camera switched to Oh, is it magic? Oh, it's like magic. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. All right, so last week I was so excited. I had some time to be like, you can write out the letters gradually. You don't have to be in a hurry. I think I just was not used to doing or sharing healthy words without actually having an audience. So this week I'm going to take my time and think about the fact that maybe this video will exist in 20 years and my grandchildren will see me and we'll be doing a healthy words workshop. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make all my letters as nice as possible. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Let's see if we can get I still in the barrier of this frame. Okay. And then I will make another list right about here. I'll remove my white paper. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So funny, the letter J just always makes me think joy, and I get pretty excited every single time. So I must say this too, is that I was given permission that I can, if it happens to show up, that I can say my children's name on this. So I will now I will share exactly who they are and what they've said. Actually, the 14-year-old, her name is Giselle Soleil. And Giselle is one of the most creative and intelligent people I've ever met. And so she actually is part of the inspiration behind this idea, this poster idea, JQRS. She, in her room with permanent marker, she put up a list of every attribute on her wall that she is. And we were in a conversation one day, and I guess it was kind of spontaneous, but I said, well, and I think she might have been even upset at the time, and I said, aren't you all the things on the wall? And she started to read the words on the wall that she wrote, and her face went instantly from sad to glad, and I realized, wow, right, if we just have the healthy words up around us, if we can just see them, sometimes it's enough to help us center ourselves and feel better about ourselves. All right, so I'm going to get going. Here's the first healthy word. We'll find out what letter it goes with. It is fancy. So, fancy. Yeah, you can be fancy. All right, fair enough. Fancy is number one. And it's an F, and my name is Fonde, so I always get a little giggly about that. A's always seem to come first, but F's, it's down the line, not always first. Here we go. All right. So like I said, ultra. I don't know that as an adjective. I'll have to look that up later, but I'm going to trust that you can be ultra, or that it's something that only people say at 14 on Instagram, which still is an adjective. So you could be ultra. I think you can. You probably can. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Oh, you know what? It's my favorite word. Well, yeah, it pretty much is. Zealous. You could be zealous. One of my things that I just don't have time to do today that I recommend is, if you do decide to create a poster book, what I would love for you to do is also know the definitions. I I have to admit, and you see, I don't know technically the definition of ultra in relationship to an adjective, but for example, zealous, I definitely know, and any fancy, you know, I love looking up and seeing what the definition is and spending quality time with a word, because the beautiful thing about words is they tend to have friends that accompany them. I think of them, people always call them synonyms, but they are very similar and they hang out together and they provide similar energy and they give insights into the spirit of other words, and it can just begin to just taking one word at a time and almost getting into the synonyms and looking at what they are, you find yourself in an opportunity to A, expand your vocabulary, but B, improve your attitude at the same time. So here we go. Organic. I got that one written down for the letter O. And, oh wow, this is a long word. This is pretty long. Haha. Enchanting. Well, that's fun. All right, I have to say something about enchanting because I think it falls in the category of spelling. And what I mean by that is like kind of, so people don't really talk about it, but in order to make a word, you have to spell it. And so the word spell in a playful fashion is kind of like creating a spell, right? I mean, every word has a certain spirit and energy to it. And if you can conjure up that energy, if you can be enchanting and cast that kind of spell, that's pretty cool. Oh, look, joyous. That's the next one. It's my favorite thing to practice. Ooh, that one stuck pretty well. Gotta be careful with these. Here we go. The next word, I believe, is a W. It is, that's wonderful. I just have to admit, there are some words that just put a smile on my face. And the word wonderful, I always, it kind of just gets me right into, okay, I'll admit, I've had a lot of wonderful moments on the planet, and yeah, I can smile pretty easy behind that, with just that word popping up. Sweet. All right, I'm going to tell you guys a fun fact. Yesterday, I was going to buy a piece of pie because, first of all, it was half off. And it was at this wonderful place I go to called Beans and Barley. And I knew it was going to be delicious. And matter of fact, it had been so long. It has been at least 2.5 years since I've had a proper piece of pie. Now, I have had a couple little, you know, bites of pie maybe in the last 2.5 years, but I actually work on having less than 200 grams of sugar a week. And so, yeah, the sweet things don't always come my way. So I like just seeing the word. It gets gets my taste buds tingling. All right, exciting. So exciting, and she put a silent E around it, is because she understands, we've talked about it, is that in the English language, the letter X often has a silent E in front of it, so to speak. So sometimes you're going to have words that have the X sound, the E is, it's there, but it's also not it's not the sound that is being pronounced. So I allow, in just the healthy words practice, for people to find words that are the letter X with an E in front of them. So it's just something that I think is a great way to add more options to the letter X. All right, let's see here. Maybe I can speed this up a little bit. Ah, the word lovely. Isn't that lovely? And there's lovely. And we have a good one. So, just a special shout out to the school, Horace Mann. One of my favorite schools. But what I really loved is the principal, Mr. Burton, was all about kindness and finding extraordinary ways to show the students through the behavior of the staff and himself how to be kind. And they were really instrumental in honing in on the kindness card activity and really the value of kindness and the significance and the importance of just being kind, but then sharing kindness. So really wonderful group, really extraordinary school. Caring. Well, that is self-explanatory, but if not, I will just tell you that one of my dreams when I was little was to grow up and be a Care Bear. Didn't quite qualify, don't have a belly badge, but I was working on it. All right, here we go. Remarkable. Really love this word. This is the word I would look up just to revisit the definition, because I'm sure it's got this combination of like other words that means you are extraordinary. I mean, I don't know what else. I'm gonna look it up, but I love the word remarkable. My daughter picked a great one on that one. I love it. All right, let's see what else she has in here. Aw, thoughtful. You know what? Shout out to Giselle. She is thoughtful. I mean, cleaning her room, I don't know. That seems different. But most things are very thoughtful. I'm sorry, I just got a visual. When I thought thoughtful and then I saw this one particular corner, I was like, no, that has not been thought about. That was not put on the list. Oh, playful. Gotta say, I am 45. If I don't get to play in a day, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, guess what I did yesterday? My son, who is 12, his name is Fonde. He's like 2.0, like the upgrade. He's just better at everything than I am. But, which is fine, actually. It's really kind of cool to have children that exceed your expectations and can educate you about so many things. And so that happened yesterday. He was like, look, I just got done beating this Star Wars video game. And he was like, you're going to learn how to play this. You introduced me to Star Wars. And I was like, okay, but I don't really know how to use the remote very well. And when there are characters who have heads, I kind of don't know how to make their heads focus and go the right way. So I just want to tell you that in advance. I don't know if I can actually Star Wars. I don't even know if I can run straight. But to his credit, he took his time. It seemed pretty challenging the first 20, bless his heart. But after an hour, I can tell you right now, my character can jump and swing and run and use the Force. The next word, majestic. Let's see, Majestic. There's a place called the Majestic here in the city. I don't know. Love that name. Always makes me think about magic. Here we go. How many were A, B, D? All right, we only got maybe, we're more than halfway there. Ooh, impeccable. Let's see, she's bringing out the Rufus King vocabulary on us. Hold up, let me look at this. Excuse me while I ask Siri. Siri, how do you spell impeccable? She spelled it right? All right. Maybe. Hey, all right, impeccable. You know what? When I started to look it up, I was like, you know she looked it up. I don't know what you're doing. I'm sure if she ever sees this video, I will receive an email, which is not normal for a 14-year-old, but I bet. I'm sure she'll send me an email, and that'd be pretty good. Oh, vivacious. No, there's a fun word. It is so much fun to be vivacious. I love saying that. Vivacious. You know, if I was a person who ran, I would I think I would have a spirit of vivaciousness when I was, but I'm not really a run. I kind of need a soccer ball to run. I'll admit to that. It's the side effects of playing soccer as a youth. I don't understand running without a ball in front of you, kind of. So, but I have friends that run. They love running. I just don't know why they don't have a soccer ball. All right, neat. This is hilarious. This is a side joke between my daughter and I. She was saying some words are outdated, like neat, and then I started using it, and then she put it in my jar. Well, that's neat. It's too much fun. All right, what else is in here? It's like the letter A. Here we go. Amazing. Got it. Amazing. Huh. Well, this is a word I guess I never, I don't know. I don't think I've even heard her say this word. Heavenly. I cannot wait to ask her what is heavenly to her. I'm sorry for laughing, but just, there's these moments where you're talking to, well, maybe not just for me. I'm talking to my 14-year-old daughter, and she is saying things, and I would love to be like, I don't know if that's heavenly. I don't feel like we're having an angelic conversation right now. All right, bright. I love it. Bright and beautiful and bold and benevolent. Okay. Bright. Well, she was very bright. What is this? Oh, one of my favorites of all time. Genuine. Oh, just love the word genuine. It's mostly because I truly have, and I know this after living this long and people and being around, I have just the best friends. They're so genuine. They really, the nice thing about my friends is they will actually be like, no, Fonde, no. Make a better decision, honey. No. Uh-oh, look, there are 2 left, and there are 3 letters. So, I get to make one of my own. Is it cute? Awesome. Determined. Determined. So working on this mural project with putting healthy words on a mural, and the principal, I think his word was determination, and while he was trying to get the word determination up, he would constantly get interrupted. So it was kind of cool because he'd be like D-E-T, D-E-T-E-R, D-E-T-E-R-M. And it was just watching because he would keep getting called away, and so it was kind of cool because he had to be determined to get determination up. It's kind of cool to watch the spirit of the word in action. Oh, youthful. All right, and the letter that she happened not to have here is the letter Q. So I'm going to put, I'm just going to go with quality. All right. So we have, of course, 26 healthy words. We have amazing, bright, caring, determined, enchanting, fancy, genuine, heavenly, impeccable, joyous, kind, lovely, majestic, neat, organic, playful, quality, remarkable, sweet, thoughtful, ultra, vivacious. See, that would make sense. Ultra vivacious. That makes sense to me. But you could be ultra. Ultra vivacious, wonderful, exciting, youthful, and zealous. Can you be ultra zealous? I feel like ultra should kind of be the kind of word that accompanies another word to show, oh, but you could be ultra. I get, okay, maybe I get it. Maybe I just learned something. I could be like ultra fonde, maybe. Very, very, very fonde-ish. I guess so. All right, so now let's select a couple of these healthy words that I would actually like to have up on my wall and think about all the time. So one that I really would like to have on my wall is impeccable. So I'm going to select that one, impeccable, right here. And I'm going to also, I'm going to put up caring. I can be more caring. I can practice that. I am going to also select kind. And I'm going to go with, I really wanted to pick ultra just to practice being ultra, but I don't, of course I still don't know. I'm going to be more thoughtful. I'm going to be more thoughtful. I'm going to go with 2 more. That's why I've got 6 healthy words that I'm going to put up on my board. And I'm going to pick one to be in the center and kind of have a couple around it that might be not as big or dynamic. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to practice being lovely. I feel like it makes me want to sit up straighter. I'm going to be lovely. And, ooh. You know what I might do just for a couple weeks? I might practice being like sweeter with my teenagers. Coming to get you, teenagers. Get ready for the sweetness. Oh, y'all about to get hugs. Y'all don't even know. So, please get out a piece of paper. I think you have one. And we will, actually what I did today is it was something I want to do. It's not in your, it's not inside your bag, but I really wanted to use stencils. It's just a personal preference, but you can definitely write it out. Some of you are extremely talented artists, and it will be effortless for you. So what I normally think of is if you decide to choose your word, your main word, like for example, my word that I really, really, really think that I should be focusing on is actually the word impeccable. I think that that's the one I'm going to have in the middle. And I'm going to just playfully stencil it out. And you can write yours out and we'll go from there. So we're going to start off with impeccable. See if I can just make some markers here where I want this word to be. I just heard my mother's voice when I had a marker in my hand. I literally heard her say, "You need to get a pencil." I heard that. That actually happened. So we're going to work with pencil first, and then we can go over it with marker. And that way you can, you know, if you make mistakes or things of that nature, you can erase. There isn't an eraser the size of a small village, so we can't there are no mistakes. We're going to erase whatever. And here we go. I'm going to start off with the letter I. You know what? I am going to there we go. I, and then I will get the letter M. I have to admit, I feel like a little kid right now. I'm so happy to be using stencils. I don't even know what to say. And I think it's because I don't know how it's going to look. I've never used these stencils, so I don't even know what the letters are going to look like. But yeah, look at that. And then P. a pretty long word I chose. I hadn't even thought of that, but it's funny. It's what I do love about healthy words, and what I do enjoy about doing this work is I keep coming. Since the beginning, I constantly come across healthy words that I need to embody, practice, think about, have as a part of my existence on a consistent basis. And really at my age, one of the fun things to think about is, can I really be impeccable? Can I do better and better and better at what I am seeking to accomplish? And for me, my primary goal is that every kid has access to healthy words, understands their value, and can use them to design and create and author their lives. So I am looking every day, and thanks to ARTS4ALL and their team, and everyone who supports them, I'm able to get this message of healthy words out on a larger scale. And now just thinking about it being on video is wonderful, because what I would love to see is that in every classroom there is a healthy word conversation that we are discussing, because sometimes we say to young people that we want them to use better language without qualifying if they know what that is. I see it all the time. Matter of fact, healthy words stems from an observation that the students I was creating poetry with, and stories and songs, that there was still this challenging moment to express maybe a positive story, just because if you don't use the vocabulary on a consistent basis, then it's not always easy to recall it in a moment of need. So for me, that is how I can become far more impeccable, is that I can do a better job at sharing healthy words with the world, so that at least everyone can choose to have positive thoughts and ideas, and to design a life of positivity and benefit. All right, so I think I've got here to the end of Impeccable. Yep. And for me, kind of like what I chose to do with the cards, my goal is always to keep it simple when I'm playing with different elements. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to block off my poster board, because I'm kind of going to do, like, now that I've got Impeccable, and I'm going to add the other words as well. I won't stencil them in. That might take a little time, but I will write them in now. And what I want to say is that I'm going to block this off and kind of do just a variety of colors going across, but starting off with this darker color, this black, and then around Impeccable, I will put caring, I will add a little bit of kind. Oh, am I off? Am I? That's why you need tech people to tell you that you've run away from the camera. All right. Kind. And, lovely. I'll go right there. Thoughtful. Yeah, I think I have one more. Oh, yes. Sweet. Now, I'm going to take the side of my stencil and use my pencil. That was a wrap. I meant that on purpose. I did that. I've got my stencil and my pencil. No. What I'm going to do is take the pencil and take it along a straight line and begin to block off the areas where I kind of want the colors to change, so that I can do like just a little bit of color going across and putting in sections and zones. And again, the nice thing about the pencil, without you having to put a lot of pressure, you don't have to put a lot of pressure down just to get the lines or the sectioning that you might want to do. You can be very light and gentle, and then that way it makes it easy to erase once we get to the end. All right. Now I'm going to pull out a couple more colors. Let's see what colors I have. I don't even know what colors I have. Well, of course, with light colors, it's a little bit easier to add them in. But I would suggest, you know, when I decide to do something like a rainbow over black marker or yellow marker, sometimes, you know, it can run. So as you get closer to, actually, this is what I would suggest. I like to kind of go along the outline with the color and bring it out and give yourself kind of a brief little border. If you're going to use marker, it can run on the black. Am I in frame? No? Okay, I'm back in frame. But you might want to do a little outline so that you don't get that running black, or sometimes, you know, the blue or whatever the darker color is tends to shade into the lighter color, and you can lose a little pop. Here we go. I have to admit, there's a part of me that would like to see what this looks like, you know, on like triple speed or double speed at the end. Maybe I'll have to talk to ARTS4ALL about giving me the video clip of me coloring, because I don't know if people know this about me, but I've been coloring for years. I'm really good at it. I can see a white area, find a color, and definitely get all the color out and change that area into something, you know, from white to like a yellow or a pink. I'm really good at coloring. Started coloring when I was a young child. All right, so that's our yellow. Now I am going to gradually go across. I'm going to be a little quiet because I'm going to enjoy myself coloring. I think if you all are joining in with me, my goal will be to go across this as quickly as possible. But if you're tuning in, you too must be decorating your poster board. Now, what I'm going to say about that is my mother is a visual artist. I might have said this on my last video. And so I have this thing in my head I hear from her all the time, which is you cover up the whole paper. So that is my goal. All right, my goal will be to cover up the whole paper. Of course, you decorate however you like. I feel like I will get in trouble if I don't decorate. No, she allows for artistic freedom, but I definitely hear that in my head, like you must cover the whole paper. So I do challenge you, if you do end up doing like flowers or houses or birds or whatever, if you can create a sky or color up the whole background, whatever you end up doing for your poster, may you cover up the whole page. All right, let me see if I can outline this. Matter of fact, for the sake of time, I will I'll make some smears. That's fine. I'm gonna declare it artistic and keep going. All right, that's pink. I think that's pink. Yeah, it's pink. Ooh, I'll roll off pink. You know, I'm gonna go right to red. Take a big section, and I'll just do this. Expedite. This red marker work. It's getting exhausted. Come on, red marker. Stick with me. Not that much paper to go. All right, I think I'm going to transition to green. Oh yeah, look at green. Green wants to color. That's the other wonderful thing about any kind of creating or making of something. It's very calming, especially when it has elements of simplicity. Like there's no wrong way to color your positivity poster. Also, I've been thinking about this idea lately that the page is a plate, right? And that ultimately every word that we consume, that we think about, that we hold in our hearts and our minds, is something that we've eaten in a way. We've taken it in, and it can impact us in a variety of different ways. So when I think of this piece of paper, I also recognize that it is like a plate and that it has the ability to feed my heart and my mind and my spirit. That's one reason why I always talk about being a healthy word, and with healthy words being a literary chef, because I think we all have the capacity to cook up language that others can enjoy. You know, when I just think about some of the phrases that are simple, like, you know, if you praise someone, it's almost every day you can almost find something positive someone in your life has done. You know, someone's always contributing something good to your existence. We may not always think about it, but it is happening. Oh, and look at that. We're going to end with blue. Right here, a little blue on the end. All right. Well, as you can see, I need to now iron my paper. I don't know what happened there, but this is my positivity poster. And what I will do, just to finish up, we have these wonderful tabs here where you can stick them onto something. I actually have a board that I brought with me just to show you how it works. I think it'll fit in frame. Aha! Happened again. The amazing tech people here at ARTS4ALL caused my board to arrive. So then we can just peel them off. What you want to do is you want to peel off these little tabs and put them in the four corners. Sometimes, you know what, I like to put one right smack in the middle. Boom. And then we're going to also peel off the tabs on the back so that once we stick them on there, then we can pull off the tabs on the back so that it actually sticks to, and the thing about it, it will stick to the wall. It will. You don't have to have a whiteboard like I have. And let's see, I think the the adhesive will come off. Just give me a second here. Did not prepare my nails for removing adhesive. I don't think I would have spent so much time cutting them yesterday if I knew. You know what I'm going to tell you is, look at that. Oh wait, aha! I did it! Now you know, once you can do it once, now I think I can do it all the time. All of these will come off. All right, so ultimately, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these off the back. I don't know, I might need tweezers because of my nails, but I almost got this one too. Hold up. Right there. Here it comes. Come on. Come on, you. Come on. Okay, let's see if we can find one down here, and then I'll just do a quick sticking. I think I have, I've got a little bit of time. You guys can wait, you know, the extra 14 minutes it takes for me to remove this because I cut my nails so well yesterday. It's so funny. I did really spend a lot of time really thinking about cutting my nails, and I did an immensely great job. I don't even know what I'm using to get this off. All right, so once you get all the backs off, you can find a location. This actually is going to go near my bed, more in front of it. So when I wake up in the morning, it's one of the first things I think about. That is what is on my mind. And I am going to practice being impeccable. And there you have it. That is my positivity board. And positivity poster, I think of it literally as a literary salad, a few healthy words. So, caring, sweet, lovely, impeccable, thoughtful, and kind. Those are a few healthy words that I personally am going to add to my life more and more. And I thank all of you for showing up and participating today. I want to thank ARTS4ALL for creating ARTS4ALL. The work they do is transformative throughout the city in so many different ways. They've touched so many different lives. And I just feel honored to be a part of their work and really our community, and doing what we can to make sure every child and every person really has the best arts, because that's how we are creating and designing the world, right? We are all creatives. We are all participating. Lately I've been saying we are creators, participators, and sometimes both. So thank you very much. I'm Fonde Bridges. Have an extraordinary day.